My name is Bethany Gagné, and I've been offering peace projects for many, many years now. And through each of the peace projects, people often write in and they, share their input and their thoughts. And this peace project, I'm noticing there's a different vibe to it. And it's obviously because of what's happening in society now. There is so much happening that I'm getting this sense of a real resignation, a real powerlessness from so many people. And in fact, somebody wrote in and said, basically, you won't have peace until we get a new president. And it's exactly that type of thinking that I'm always been seeking to challenge with this peace project, because that's the whole idea of us putting our power into government, into politicians, into other organizations, putting our power into these organizations. And where has it gotten us? Like where we are right now. Right? So our track record isn't so good. But there is this one really big rock that we haven't looked under, and that is this subtle energy peace meditation research. We have only scratched this. I mean, the TM organization, thank God, they've done what they've done. Lynn McTaggart's done her version. We're wanting to do this at the city level. Like, there is so much research that needs to be done to help people get this idea that there is a far grander, greater version of themselves. And if we are working without using that greater, grander version with ourselves, then we're leaving money on the table. We are not working full on whatsoever. So the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because in a little bit I'm going to show you a video, an interview that I've done with a gentleman known as Pancake. And Pancake is an anti-violence worker with SNUG in Albany, New York. SNUG stands for Guns Spelled Backwards. This is an anti-violence group that strives to find the youth at risk and to mentor them, stay close to them, to keep them from shooting basically. And so they're put themselves right in the mix. They're available 24/7, 7 days a week to help these kids make different choices. And what's interesting about Pancake when he shares is we all immediately become humbled, because when you get closer to violence like this, you realize so much of it is easily avoided. Right? It's not, you can see it on the news and you think they're these big terrible bad guys, and then you get up close and personal and you see it might be a 14-year-old that is maybe hungry, or maybe their parents just haven't bothered to find out where they've been for days and they have nothing else to do with their days, and they've had absolutely no social conditioning. So what Pancake poignantly shares is that even himself, coming from the streets himself, reforming his life, he has to humble himself and listen to these kids to help know how he can meet their needs. And he talks about how a city needs to heal together before we can create this a better society or a better environment. And in that healing, that means acknowledging that people are hurt and they need to be heard and they need to be cared for. They basically need to be loved. So as you listen to Pancake, and you may feel overwhelmed and just feel like, what could we possibly do? I don't live in the inner city. I don't know how to reach these kids. There's nothing I can do, but feeling so powerless. You don't have to. That's why we're doing the Albany Peace Project. That's why we do the Global Peaceful Cities Project. I'm tired of people looking at the news feeling like they can't do anything. You can. So understand that when Pancake shares what needs to be done, and he's going to talk about how these kids need to have some light to live under so they can grow naturally and they can grow outward and they can grow in a healthy manner. I've seen this work, and I've seen where if you send light to situations, I've literally seen light in the etheric kind of like brush by people, and all of a sudden they have an insight. All of a sudden they step back a little bit. All of a sudden they become aware of something that they weren't aware of before. I've seen it happen in court cases where something comes out of nowhere that nobody knew of and yet changed the whole court case. The reason why this works like this is because when we're working with the etheric, we are working with this beautiful, benevolent, loving energy that is equal opportunity for us all. Each one of us are equal in the field. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic background. It doesn't matter your education. None of that matters. What matters is that we've invoked this loving presence, this loving intelligence to go out into the city and to help serve. So know that when you listen to Pancake, you can do something. You can go to your mat every day, August 15th to 22nd, and we're going to be doing other cities as well. And we need a legion of meditators to demonstrate that everyday people can vote with their heart to see what they want to see in the world, and don't have to worry, don't even think about the president. Basically, don't worry about that. Like, yes, vote, go do whatever you need to do, but this is an opportunity that we have, and we have been underutilizing it. So just even as you're watching Pancake, just send him blessings, send him love. Notice how your heart shifts, notice how your heart changes, and think about what if you spent an entire week just bathing these youth in Albany in sweetness and love, and we'll be measuring changes in social indicators. So thank you so much for watching. Please really listen to what Pancake has to say. He's a man of great wisdom, and please go to peacefulcities.org, enter your email, and meditate with us this August 15th to 22nd. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Pancake. How many years have you been with this organization now?
I believe it's 19 or 20 months.
Right. How's it going?
It's a growth period.
Yeah, still, huh?
Yeah, you definitely grow. You change, with the training and understanding the trauma, and the ways that people perceive with the kids is growing.
Right, right. How has your vision of the world changed in the last, and if you could, remember the mask just because we're concerned with clarity.
My vision as far as what I would like the city to be.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough because you have to re-shine light on the kids that's traumatized. Like, visualize a plant. A plant grows in the light, it grows outward, right? But it still grows. You take that same plant, let's say you put it under your kitchen cabinet. Will it not grow? It'll still grow, but it'll grow inward. And that's the same thing with the children today. We're in dark times, so they're growing into a dark atmosphere. We have to take that darkness away and replace with white clouds, meaning positivity, because the energy is real negative. So my vision is to get my city back on the positive vibes.
Yeah, to add light. And what would it be like to add light for these kids?
Allow them to grow. Allow them to actually be kids, because right now these children, us as adults are, and I say us because, I was once thinking the same thing, that these kids are grown because of maybe their age or because of their growth and their body development, but that's not true. Even a 19-year-old is still a child.
Right.
And we need to stop putting adult responsibilities on these kids, allow them to grow and flourish, and show them new avenues where they can channel their mind instead of just bottling up their frustration and letting it out in negative ways.
Right, absolutely. What have you learned the most from being in this job for?
The most I learned, honestly, is to listen, because a lot of times, me personally, coming from the atmosphere and growing up, I like to believe that I have a lot of the answers, and I don't. So what I learned is just to listen, because these kids have a voice, and they will tell you exactly what's going on and how to fix it if you just listen.
Wow. And can you tell people what you do as a snug worker and how you try to meet their needs and
Try and meet the needs. Each child has different needs, depending on the age, depending on their living situation, depending on where they're at just in their life period, because they go through different stages. I didn't see kids that started out in grade school and just how their friends change, over the last 2 years. Over the last 2 years that I've been working here, how their behavior changed, how their clothing changed.
Yeah.
Just how their respect has went down for other people.
Right.
That's what I've seen since. The biggest thing is with the kids, and the number of children, like us as adults, experience the same thing, and we have trauma that we have yet to deal with. Like, the other day I was driving, and I got a couple of boxes of masks I keep in my trunk. So I seen a group of, it's like a family, a couple of older senior citizens, and nobody had a mask on, so I pulled over and I hopped out, popped the trunk, and they're looking at me like, I'm a big guy. So
Right.
what is this guy just doing? So I'm like, here, and I gave them a pack of masks each, and like, for free, like, and I'm like, yeah, it's for free, you have to cover up for safety. And they're just like, they were just overwhelmed, and that's the appreciation that I feel, and that's one of the reasons why I do this, because just to see the amazement and people appreciation for just the small things, because a lot of times we complain about the things that we don't have instead of appreciating what we do have. And that's what you're trying to spread throughout the community. And to piggyback off of what Justin said, like even like our participants age range from 13 to 24, but they still might meet the criteria. Some might be just coming home, or some might have been suffering from gun violence. For instance, me and my other co-worker had a participant, and we was doing a canvas area, and there's a gang member that got shot, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's still like in the streets, and we was just asking him, why is he out here? Why is he still doing the things? And he's in a wheelchair. And at first he's like, hey, Pancake, man, I still got the gun, I don't care. And it's like, wait a minute, something deeper than this. And the more I really said, because I've been there. A lot of times we're put in situations where we don't like it. We just do it because of the circumstances surrounding us. And he was one of them products of the environment. And when I told him, like, I remember when at the end of me being in the streets, like, I didn't even like doing it. So if I don't like doing it, why am I doing it? And I told him, it's okay, we're human. We have to start addressing the pain that's inside of us and letting it go instead of holding on to it. And once we got into that, like, he almost like broke down, and he was like, I really don't want to sell drugs. And I was like, I can't promise you anything, but I will try and look into something, because he's disabled. So it got to be something that, because he's like, yo, I can't do this. He's like, I got kids, is there something else out there I can do? And I just don't know, like, once again, I can't 100% guarantee or promise you anything. But I would do my part and do some research. What I'm saying? Because you shouldn't really be out here doing this, and you're already in a wheelchair. What I'm saying? And that just goes to show that we go through this as adults. So can you just imagine a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, or a 16-year-old that's dealing with these levels of adult stress at such an early age? It's crazy.